Wetin dey happen for inside Nigerian military go make you cold. Today, Saturday, February 14, 2026, we are looking at some of the most terrifying revelations ever caught on tape. From an ex-soldier claiming his own colleagues shot at him in the bush, to Senator Adams Oshomole exposing retired generals running illegal gold mines with choppers. People are asking, is the fight against Boko Haram and bandits a real war or just a multi-billion naira business for businessmen generals? If you want to see the video evidence that is making everyone shake, stay tuned. The Nigerian soldier is often called the sacrificial lamb. They go into the thickest forest facing terrorists with inferior weapons while their families pray for their return. But what happens when the enemy isn't just in front of them but behind them in the office? Today, we are diving into a series of leaks, podcasts, and Senate floor speeches that suggest our soldiers are in bigger trouble than we ever imagined. It's a story of security money, Abuja estate, and a war that some people don't want to end. The first shocking revelation comes from an audio recording on X, formerly Twitter. An ex-military man narrated his experience fighting Boko Haram. He claimed that because he was a sharpshooter who wasn't missing his targets, his fellow soldiers, his own brothers in arms, actually turned their guns on him. He survived and resigned, but his story points to a deeper conspiracy. Is there a directive to not end the war? Then we have the businessmen generals. Omoyele Sowore and others have pointed out that in Nigeria, you can become a general without ever fighting a war, just by knowing the right people. These generals are allegedly buying up whole estates in Abuja with security money meant for the troops. Adding fuel to the fire, Senator Adams Oshomole went on the Senate floor to reveal that retired generals are the ones behind illegal mining in states like Zamfara. He claimed they use choppers to fly in arms and fly out gold, making billions of dollars while the state gets poorer and the soldiers get killed. The allegation of betrayal. An ex-soldier claims he was shot by his own unit for being too effective against Boko Haram. The financial scandal. Reports claim high-ranking officials are diverting security money to build massive estates in Abuja and Dubai. The mining link. Senator Oshomole alleges retired generals use choppers to facilitate illegal mining and weaponize local bandits. What is security money? In Nigeria, billions are budgeted for security votes every year. This money is often unaudited, meaning no one truly knows how it is spent. This lack of transparency is what critics say allows businessmen generals to acquire wealth that their salaries could never justify. When war becomes profitable, the incentive to achieve peace disappears. In countries like Israel or the US, a general is someone who has led troops in multiple combat zones like Iraq or Afghanistan. In Nigeria, critics argue that the rank is sometimes given based on political patronage or who you know in church or the palace. This creates a disconnect between the office generals and the field soldiers who are dying every day. The corporate military point. Some argue that these are isolated incidents and that the military as an institution is doing its best with limited resources. They say illegal mining claims need more specific evidence. The systemic failure point. Oshomole and the ex-soldiers argue that the evidence is everywhere, from the choppers in the bush to the mansions in Abuja. They believe the big men are weaponizing bandits to protect their business interests. The ripple effect is a total breakdown of trust. When a soldier feels his general is eating his allowance or that his own unit might friendly fire him, morale collapses. This leads to the mass burials we see every day and the never-ending nature of the insurgency. My people, this matter gets many legs. Do you believe that some of our generals are businessmen who don't want the war to end? Or do you think these are just rumors to spoil the name of the army? I want to read your honest opinion for the comment section. Abeg, make we talk am. Smash that like button now and subscribe. Hit the bell so you no miss the next investigative update. Last week, we discussed military welfare. User at SoldierWife24 said, "My husband hasn't seen his full allowance in 6 months. Omo, if you look at the Abuja estate, you go know where the allowance dey." What is the future forecast? We predict more whistleblower videos from ex-soldiers who are tired of being sacrificial lambs. The Senate might be forced to set up a committee to investigate the choppers in the bush claim, but whether anything will change depends on the political will of the presidency. The key points recap, the summary. Before we go, let's look at why our soldiers are in trouble. The friendly fire claim. Ex-soldier alleges he was targeted by his own unit for killing too many terrorists. Estate generals. Top officials allegedly using security funds to buy estates in Abuja and Dubai. The mining link. Retired generals allegedly used choppers for illegal gold mining in Zamfara. Weaponizing bandits. Allegations that big men provide arms to bandits to secure mining territories. Mass burials. The real-world consequence of this business is the constant loss of young Nigerian lives. As we watch these videos, we must remember the innocent soldiers on the front lines, the ones whose lives are 50-50 every day. They deserve better. They deserve leaders who fight for the country, not for their bank accounts. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and I go see you for the next update. One love.
So there was this video I saw on X, and this video is really scary. That it was an audio recording. Now there is this show that they used to do. Is it Let's Talk? It was hosted by one Sandra like that. So an ex-military man called in and was narrating his experience with the Nigerian army when he go dey fight Boko Haram for inside bush. Now the soldier made something, a revelation, and this thing is so scary. When I listen to it, even till now I'm still shaking. Now what happened? The soldier said when they were on the battleground, so he was a left-handed soldier. He was good at shooting Boko Haram when they miss the target. So he get number of don't buy to this Boko Haram. So the Nigerian soldiers, when we say they did the same thing, so they speak Hausa, and the Hausa means say it too dey buy people, which means it too dey buy Boko Haram. So they can't shoot the soldier. This is a Nigerian army that shot a fellow Nigerian army because it too dey buy Boko Haram. So the guy can't escape. Finally, now still survive. He can't reach out, so he can't resign for Nigerian army. Now, when I watched that video, it was so scary because I don't want to post it here because I don't know how TikTok works, because it might go against their community guideline, because I don't know if that audio was true or was false. But be that as it may, whether true or false, I think this is where we need the help of investigative journalism, people like Sahara reporters, to go down and listen to this soldier and question other soldiers if this is truly happening in Nigerian army. Because if this is true, it therefore means that this fight against Boko Haram is never ending anytime soon, because it's not fully well sponsored by Nigerian politicians and Nigerian army. Because I don't know why. Maybe because Nigerian army are in return benefiting from this battle that is going on between them and the Boko Haram. Because I don't see any reason where you wear a Nigerian army uniform, going with a fellow Nigerian army uniform. Now you people have one common enemy, which is the Boko Haram. So when after they fight this Boko Haram, you don't know, so you still go under enemy too. Let me say now that wear the same uniform. Maybe say they are supposed to be watching your back, but rather they are at your back to buy you because you took buy Boko Haram. This thing is scary, Nigerians. This needs to, in fact, this needs to raise an alarm, because if this is happening, so we now wonder why Nigerian army every day now they go state to state, go they beg people to come and join the Nigerian army. Where now they buy, now people for inside bush because they buy person be saying now they go buy, and this thing is so scary. So at this point, I feel investigative journalism, because when I saw that news, I went to the comment section. So people were making some people were backing up that claim, saying that their father, some that has personnel in the army are saying they have heard this kind of news, that even a friend's dad told him that this thing happened. So I think this is the work of the investigative journalists to go and check if this thing is really true. They will now know that the federal government are using people's life to play politics. So we'll now establish this fact. They will now know what next. Because at this point, if truly say you now go say Nigerian army go inside bush with Boko Haram, then they buy Boko Haram, then at the end, now Nigerian army go seek by a fellow Nigerian army because they buy Boko Haram, then this thing is so scary in this country. This country, people's life are used to play politics, and Nigerian army knows this, and Nigerian army are backing them up. So yeah, we need investigative journalists to go and confirm this is true or not.
Now, in order to prove points, in order for you guys to know that what this guy is saying is true, how many of you guys have watched this particular video? Now, this particular guy, they say is a notorious bandit. Like, if they pass, so they pass, you know, get sympathy. He even pass Bello Tuji. That this guy don't constitute a lot of nuisance. Some certain operation, Nigerian soldiers were able to arrest him. Immediately they arrest him, the good Nigerian soldier, because the ones that we are talking about are not the ones in the battlefield. We are talking about the ones in the office. They said that the ones in the battlefield, which are the sacrificial lamb, were able to capture this guy, hand over them to the ones in office. I don't know, they said they sent this guy to prison. Everybody thought that this guy has been in prison for decades. They never knew that the guy had been released. They released him and put him back to the society. And since then, a lot of things that this guy was back and be buying a lot of people. This guy have bought a lot of people until recently again when they said they arrested them. See, we thought you were in prison. And the guy will now say, no, I'm not in prison. You know, my boss, all them, I got them. When they them top official, it is not just these guys that are talking right now. I also want you guys to watch a city senator, the former Edo State governor Adas of Shomole, now a city senator, narrated a certain story. I can't know, it's not a story, calling out the Nigeria Security Agency that what are their duty, especially the military, that they might be involved in those things that is happening in the forest. Buying people in the forest to ensure that they secure the land so that they can mine their gold, mine the diamonds, mine all the natural resources in the forest. If you think I'm lying, I want you guys to listen.
The same force should be deployed to deal with criminals who are money. When I say criminal, it can be a retired general, it can be a retired permanent secretary, it can be a retired trade unionist or a retired labor leader. Whoever is involved, they should be dealt with. Let Nigeria see that we are not condoning this. We are not lamenting what is going on. You know, when you have a country of people who are above the law because they are supposed to have served the country, and they have retired, and now they become the real barons. But what I observe, whereas the federal government is ruthless with people who are doing illegal oil buckling, and they deploy JTF to deal with those involved in illegal buckling. When it comes to illegal mining of solid minerals, the federal government changes. It's like using different standards. And I'm very angry about that. Because if we have to fight, deploy army, even to kill for anyone who is involved in illegal buckling of oil, and you deploy JTF, a combination of army, police, air force, everybody, why are we allowing illegal mining in many parts of the country that is going on? And they are being mined by retired generals, and we know them. Yes, we know them. Nobody can pretend he doesn't know them. I did a letter to former President Buhari, because somebody I sent to go and conduct a primary somewhere reported back to me, a retired general of Northern Instruction, told me that, look, Adams, you are worried about the challenge of conducting primaries in Zafara. The challenge he sees there is far more than that. And if it's not dealt with, Nigeria will not know peace in parts of the country. And this gold go all the way through the belt, all to Kaduna. And it, up to, yeah, correct. And he told me that those involved in this illegal mining, they use choppers. They procure arms exactly the same way as our military were doing in the South. They give them arms. They use choppers to come and cut away the gold. And they take them out of this country and make billions of US dollars. And the federal government is not doing what it should be doing. I took this letter to the former president when I was national chairman of APC. And I said, call the general to give you more brief. In fact, what is happening, or what subsequently happened in that part of the country, was exactly what the general told me was going to happen. Because these guys have been weaponized by the illegal big men who deploy them, secure territories, and the weapon is meant to protect the Chinese and other foreigners who they actually employ to carry out the mining. And on occasion, they use the same weapon to carry out banditry, kidnapping, and all of the terrible things that are going on. Chief of Committee Chairman of Defense Staff, tell the defense I said so. That, yeah, that some retired military officers, army officers are involved in it. The day we can't tell the truth, this country cannot flourish. We can't change our, when it affects our people, we are at our best. We talk strong. Some other people appear to be above the law. That is what is going on with solid minerals. It is not that we don't know where it is. We have a whole survey of where we have what across the length and breadth of Nigeria. We also know, I mean, everybody complaining about certain people from certain nationalities. How they got here, even as we are talking now, they are doing those illegal mining. And those guys are getting richer when Nigeria State is getting poorer. But we carry the consequences of banditry, kidnapping, and that which these on illegal armed men, which they equip. Sir, who can afford to buy a chopper to land in an illegal mining site, cut away gold, return to Sediti, and then on the way to airport, bam, take them out of the country? This is happening. So I agree with you, but my position is that we shouldn't, as senators, be lamenting. As senators, we should fix the problem. We should tell the executive, you must deploy exactly the same force that you deploy against illegal oil bunkering. So I agree with you that the solid sector, and I'm happy with the word made by Baba that oil was discovered by accident. What they were looking for was solid minerals. And now what was discovered is like that what has become of the public sector, the power sector. We used to say generator as a standby. Now the standby is disco power. The resource of power is generator. I don't think we should lament here. We should recommend steep penalties, and through the leadership of the Senate and the National Assembly, draw President's attention that he has to find the political will to deal decisively with criminals that are cutting away our precious stones and other precious solid minerals.
Now, some of you might say, oh, Adam Soshomole, why are you talking like this? I don't believe you. The fact is that Adam Soshomole have been vocal, and everything this guy have been saying is true. But to further proof point, how many of you watched this particular podcast from Lucky Udu? When he called this ex-military personnel, this lady, when he narrated what is going on in the Nigerian military force. I want you guys to watch.
Talk about military generals. How wealthy are military generals?
Go everywhere now in this Abuja. Are they not the one buying the whole estate? You will see this estate belong to this person. This estate belong to this general. This estate. Before it wasn't like that. I joined army in 1993. When I joined the army, it's hard for you to see a general build a very big mansion. But these days, because of the money, security money they are eating, because of soldiers' money they are eating, they will go to Dubai, they will buy highest house. They will come. You will see an estate like this. It's only one general that owns it. Is it his salary that is using to acquire those houses, those estates? It's not. It's soldiers' money. And the security money that they are eating, that they are not supposed to eat. They're supposed to pay the soldiers that are dying. Do you know that some soldiers will die like this? Their husband, their wife did not know that they are dead. They will even carry them. They will even eat the money. Except when you see, maybe the ghost of that person has started tormenting the person. Like there is one, the ghost started tormenting them. They have no choice that to start to look for his family to pay that money. Already the family did not know that the soldier is dead. So you can see what our people, our generals are doing. And they want people to clap for them and say they are doing. They have to change. They have to change. Honestly, they have to change.
Of a truth, how much is general or brigade or the highest official, how much is their salary? It's a question that you should ask yourself. Then, if you now calculate their salary and allowance, is it enough to even build duplex? Talk more about owning estates that have numbers of like 15 houses inside duplexes. Now you will now understand that all these Fulani Esme, Boko Haram is support these people in the forest have somebody that they are remitting to. Remember that Adam Soshomole said that there are many gold in the forest. If you think I'm lying, these are the people. They are not just buying people to chase them away from their lands, from their farmland, so that they will not know what is happening in the forest. These are the things that they are doing in your forest in Nigeria. Anyway, I would like to end this video here. But before we go, I want you guys to watch this particular video of Showore, what he said about Nigeria armed forces, that even people will not even go to school, they become general. How they become general? But I want you guys to watch.
And it's only in Nigeria that somebody who has never fought a war before will become a general in the army. call these businessmen generals. They are all building estates in Abuja. And then the second aspect of it is to get our security agencies to do what security agencies do, not to be aiding and abetting criminality. You cannot have an IG, and I know you guys love to talk about the IG, Inspector General of Police, who is tired and to have retired. You keep him in office, and you expect insecurity to end. It will not end. You have all these military generals who don't go to war. And it's only in Nigeria that somebody who has never fought a war before will become a general in the army, based on the number of traditional rulers he knows or the GO of his church. That's how they become generals in Nigeria, not because they go to war. If you see an Israeli general, it's because he has fought a war before. If you see an American general, he has been to Afghanistan, he has fought in Iraq, even though those wars might be wrong. But they have gone to war. But in Nigeria, you call these businessmen generals, they are all building estates in Abuja. They don't go to the war front. They don't know what's going on there. They are the ones who are happy that the insecurities are coming.